how do you find cheap plane tickets, really cheap ones? That's what we're going to look at in this video. The first option is to go to a special Ryanair page that only exists on the English version of Ryanair, where you can find all of Ryanair's cheapest flights. This page is available in English, but it's very easy to use. There are the prices, the destinations, and so on. You land on this page if the link is in the video description, as usual, so you don't have to search for it, and you simply enter here the airport you want to depart from. Then, you set the budget to under 20, and you see that you can go to Brussels for 14 euros, Bucharest in Romania, 14 euros, Budapest, 14 euros, Milan, 14 euros, Riga, Thessaloniki, Pisa, 15 euros. You can see that there are really some very cheap prices on this page, and it's really very useful. Of course, you don't necessarily get to choose the dates yourself, but it shows you when there are really low prices. The second option is to know how to use flight search engines like Skyscanner or Google Flights effectively. On Skyscanner, F of the link is in the description. There are two ways to find really cheap flights. The first option is to go to the site here, enter your departure airport, and then simply delete the destination airport and select Explore Everywhere. Next, you choose your month and click Search. And here you have some really cheap flights, 13 euros to go to Serbia, 15 euros to Albania, 16 euros to Spain, 22 euros to Ireland, and so on. You get the idea. But in this case, you are not choosing the destination, it just gives you really cheap flights. Now, this might not be the destination you want. If, on the other hand, you want to go somewhere specific, for example, you want to find a cheap Paris-Dubai flight, you enter Paris-Dubai, and you select the destination mode. Naturally, the more flexible you are, the more options you'll have for finding a cheap flight. Then, you click Search. But instead of simply choosing Calendar, you're going to select Graph. And there, you'll be able to see exactly when the cheapest flight is, quite simply. And here we can see that it's this Monday, February 5th. If you want to leave in February, it's on Monday, February 5th, that flights to Dubai are the cheapest. If you go on Google Flights and enter your departure airport, but leave the destination airport blank and click on Explore, you'll get a map with really low prices. For example, you can go to Lisbon for 17 euros, to Rome for 21, and to Athens for 49 euros, for instance. These are really great prices. This map is very useful for planning your trips based on the price to a destination airport and making sure it's not expensive. Here it's for one-way flights, just one-way tickets. So Dublin, 15 euros, Lisbon, 17. If you want a round trip, you just click on round trip here, and voila, it gives you the round trip price. 30 euros for Dublin, 34 euros round trip for Lisbon, 35 euros for Barcelona, 46 for Palermo. These are really very low prices, and that's really interesting. Now, if you want to be sure there are no layovers, you just select non-stop only. And there you go. This gives you the cheap, non-stop, round-trip flights from your departure location. Up to now, we've mainly looked at how to get low prices for short-haul flights. But what about long-haul flights? To get really cheap long-haul flights to destinations like Bangkok, Hong Kong, Dubai, New York, Los Angeles, and so on. You can go to flyforfree.com, which is a really handy website. The idea behind the site is that it sends you an alert when there's a price that's really much lower than average, much lower than usual, so you can book it as quickly as possible. It's a website that's in English, but it's not very complicated to use. It's not specifically their flight search tool that will interest us, but rather their alert system, which you can find here, that will be of interest to us. You can download the app. You can also go to their Telegram channel. For example, just to give you an example, today they sent a message saying that it was possible to go to the Emirates for 99 euros round trip from Bucharest, which is really cheap for that destination. These are the kinds of deals you'll find on this platform. Now, maybe you don't want to leave from Bucharest, Romania, or go specifically to the Emirates. So you'll be able to set up alerts by creating an account on the website and clicking on alerts. That will simply take you to a registration page. You sign up. Once you're registered, you just have to choose the airports you're interested in, the departure airports. For example, France, Czech Republic, Albania, etc. And you can set it up to only get the most attractive deals, receive a daily report, or get notified as soon as there's a cheaper offer from your location, from where you are now, or wherever you can catch a flight. You'll get an alert saying, there's a flight available for 90 euros to Dubai from Paris. Take advantage of it quickly. It's all in English. That's a bit of a downside. You have to be really quick to take advantage of the flights, but it still lets you find some gems and really great deals. Now, let's move on to some general recommendations on how to make sure you get your flights as cheaply as possible in general. The first thing to do is always to do your searches in private browsing in incognito mode to prevent websites from knowing that you want to go somewhere or that you're looking to buy flights. That way, you can be sure you're seeing the real prices and not prices that have been inflated because they know you want to travel. And then you can book your flights on Tuesdays between midnight and 5 in the morning. Why those hours? Because several studies show that it's often at that time that prices are the lowest. Why? There are several theories. One of them says that this is when unsold tickets, plane tickets that haven't been sold, are put online for sale. There you go, that's one of the theories. So don't hesitate if you're available at night. Check to see if the flight you want is cheaper on that day. I hope this video on how to get really cheap plane tickets has been helpful to you. If that's the case, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, leave a like, and subscribe for more free tips.